On today's episode, we're going to cover what the Buddha calls the root of all suffering. We're going to talk about how it affects us energetically, how it prevents sales, relationships, abundance, and then we're going to talk about a few ways to overcome this. So, welcome back to another episode of the Spoon Trained Personal Development Podcast. As I'm recording this, I've been packing. I'm going to Tony Robbins' Date with Destiny to crew that event on Tuesday in West Palm Beach. By the time you guys listen to this, that event will have been over. It's my third time doing that. Really a life-changing and amazing event. So I'm super excited to head down there and get some more growth and connections and networking and run into hopefully some new guests to have on my podcast as well. So that's coming up. I want to encourage you guys, if you haven't, to get my free course, which is 30 days of influential language hacks. And these are short 2 to 3 minute videos that are going to give you a hypnotic language pattern that's going to help you build rapport, help you to reframe things, help you to change your emotional state, the emotional state of others, and connect on a deeper level and even negotiate. Just short little language patterns. Again, that's sponetrained.com/language. Totally free. You guys are going to get an email every day with a link to a short video with all the language hacks that I use all the time to influence people. And I know you guys are really going to enjoy that. So definitely take advantage of that free opportunity. And today, let's get started on the podcast, on the content. So this this topic is near and dear to my heart, and you'll know why in a moment. And I think I say that about everything that I talk about, because everything that I talk about excites me. But before I was born, my parents wanted to have children, and they struggled for a long time, and they did, fertility treatments, and they tried for a long time. I think my mom had a miscarriage or two, and eventually they got to the point where they just kind of gave up, and they didn't think they could have children. So they went out and adopted my older sister. And as soon as they knew that they were adopting her, my mom got pregnant. And this is why this principle is so near and dear to my heart, because I believe that what happens often in pregnancy, but not just in pregnancy, it happens in every area of our life, is that when we release attachment to an outcome, we then create a space for that outcome to come into our life. So my parents were very emotionally attached to the idea of having children. As soon as they found out they were adopting, that pressure lifted. And we're going to talk about how that happens energetically. But that energetic pressure lifted, it created a space. The cells in my mom's body, the way that their physiology worked, changed based on that attachment. And then they got pregnant. And here I am, because my parents had something happen that allowed them to release attachment. So if you haven't guessed, what the Buddha says is that attachment is the root of all suffering. We get attached to our preferences. We get attached to outcomes. We get attached to people behaving in certain ways. We get attached to making so much money, to having such a business, to looking a certain way. And it's that attachment that creates pain, because guess what? We aren't very good at controlling those situations. And so if you learn to let go, to become detached, to appreciate things as they come to you, then you allow more energetic flow, and you allow more space for those things that you want to come into your life. And I'm going to show you several ways how this shows up. But, think about it. It happens all the time, especially in pregnancy. And many other ways is that attachment creates this energetic discord in our body. We're not full of faith. We're not full of certainty. And it creates this like cellular vibration that then pushes that thing away. So if you think about two magnets, if you hold the same ends together, the north and the north, they repel each other, and there's no room for it to get in. And that's how attachment feels. Everything that you want in life, you're putting out vibrations that's bringing that to you. But when you're attached to that outcome, it's like putting up a barrier. And then that barrier doesn't allow that thing to come to you until you release attachment. And, if you think about some examples, is a salesman. If you ever go see a salesman and they're like needy for the sale, you're like, whoa, you step back, right? But if you have a salesman that's like, listen, I don't really care if you buy or not. Here's how it's going to serve you. I think you're going to be better off if you don't buy. I have a customer down the road that's ready to buy. And that attitude from a salesman is one of detachment. They're not attached to you buying, they're not attached to the outcome. And that allows you to go, I trust this guy. I'm energetically connected to them. I'm ready to buy. So in the future, I'm going to create a course on attraction, romantic attraction and relationships. And in that course, I teach that the number one biggest turnoff is neediness. And neediness in a relationship is the same thing as attachment. Listen, I don't care if a guy is incredibly good looking. He could be a supermodel, totally loaded, wealthy, fit, have all these things going for him. But if he has an energy of neediness in a relationship, a woman will not be able to physically feel attraction for him. Now, she may consciously override that and get into a relationship for other reasons, but to have an energetic, sexual, intimate attraction, neediness will kill it instantly. And I've noticed this in myself over the years. Especially when you're younger in high school, you get a crush on a girl and you get needy and you kind of get attached and you text her a little too often and you drive her away. And we've all been there, I'm sure. But in the later years of my life, maybe college or even after college, I would find myself really liking someone. I would feel that energetic neediness in my body. And as soon as I did the work to release that, then the relationship was able to blossom. It took me several times of being just a little bit too needy and pushing my interest away from me because of that energy and not realizing until after, like, oh, I had this energy that was pushing them away. And even though they liked me, they still wouldn't be attracted to me from that energetic space. And just like my parents, the circumstance of having a child wasn't attracted into their life until they released that neediness, that attachment. The salesperson has to release that neediness to the sale. Everything you want in life is tied to releasing attachment to it. Now, this is how I think about it metaphorically, is that we write the universe a letter with our energy, with our thoughts, with our conscious desires. We say, dear universe, I want to attract a partner. I want to attract this kind of job, this kind of money, this kind of investment. And we fold that letter up, and we put it in an envelope. We put a stamp on it, and we write our return address. And then when the universe comes to pick up that envelope, we hold on to it, right? We keep it in our hand. We keep it in our grasp, and the universe tries to pull it out of our hand, and we say, no, I'm attached to this outcome. We keep it, we keep waiting for it. It's like planting a seed and then digging it up every day and seeing if it's growing. This is what we do, and this is how we prevent ourselves from attracting into our lives the things that we want. And so if you want to attract everything into your life, you have to let go of that envelope. You have to send it out. You have to release attachment to it so that the universe can compile all of those things and bring it back to you. But it's when you hold on to that and you worry about it and you stress about it and you think about how much you want it and what it means to you, and if you don't have it, what's going to happen, that creates that energy that repels. That needy energy that in a relationship repels, in a sales meeting it repels. That is the root of all suffering. And that's what the Buddha says. So, and one way that we can start to, there's several ways that we can start to overcome that. But really, we're setting ourselves up for pain and suffering when we have expectations like that. Now, that's not me saying don't have desires, don't go after your goals, don't be relentless, but it's saying enjoy the process and release attachment to the outcome. Have faith, right? When you're in faith and gratitude, you don't have that needy energy. When you have faith and gratitude, you know that the process is working out for you. Last week, I talked about life happens for you. And so you have a desire, you make a plan, you go after that plan, but you release attachment to the outcome and you tell the universe, bring whatever is in my best and highest good, and have faith around that and still working towards your goals, but not letting that energy of attachment fill your body. And you guys all know what that feels like to have that neediness. right? Like I want you to think about a time when you were like so needy towards something, whether it was a relationship or a deal. Last year I had a deal fall through where, I thought I was going to make hundreds of thousands of dollars on it, and it just didn't work out. And I wasted a bunch of time. And I noticed through that whole process, I'm needy. I'm emotionally stewing about it. I'm thinking about it. I'm worrying about it. And I believe that keeps deals like that away from us. And, if you want to have abundance into your life, I think this is one of the big secrets that people don't talk about with the law of attraction, right? It's, create that desire, have the emotions that you've already attracted it, see it so clearly, feel the textures of that vision. And I believe in all of that. But the last step that they don't talk about is releasing attachment. Just have faith that that's going to come to you. Bob Proctor says, let go and let God. Well, not just Bob. Many people say that, but I remember one of his old seminars, You Were Born Rich. He says, let go and let God. Do everything in your power. Be relentless on how you're going after it. But then, just do your part of the process and let God bring everything to you. Let the universe compile those resources and bring them to you, and know that being attached to an outcome is going to block that. So where in your life are you creating neediness? Where are you creating attachment? Where are you keeping things away from you that are ready to come into your life? That abundance that you want, that job that you want, that relationship that you want. Get clear on it, desire it, feel it, have gratitude and faith, and then release attachment. And you're going to start creating and attracting things into your life at a rate that is going to blow your mind. So a few other ways to overcome that feeling, right? Because remember, attachment is a meaning that we make. And because we make a meaning, what happens if we don't get this? That creates emotions and hormones in our system. So often I find that in my solar plexus chakra, which is right above my belly button, in the stomach. And I find that that's where I hold my attachment and neediness. And so there's a few ways to overcome that, because it's just energy. It's just emotions in our system. One of the ways to overcome it is with Reiki, pranic healing. Any type of energy healing modality can clear that out of our system. Another way is to what in NLP, what is called collapsing an anchor. And if you guys haven't yet, I have a free meditation recording on releasing attachment in my membership area. You can go to sponetrain.com and then click to set up a free account. And in the free resources, there's a meditation recording on clearing attachment. And so in NLP, there's something that's called an anchor. So if you guys have taken my hacking NLP course, you know how to do this. At any time we're in a heightened emotional state, whatever happens gets linked up. So what we do to collapse that anchor of emotional attachment is we imagine it in our left hand, and we squeeze it. And as we squeeze our left hand, we imagine that attachment getting stronger and stronger. And then we go to a positive memory in our right hand, one where we didn't have attachment, one where we felt totally fulfilled and grateful. And we imagine the emotion of that getting stronger as we squeeze the right hand. And we go back to the left, make that attachment stronger. We squeeze it, feel that attachment even stronger. Go back to the right, feel that love and gratitude and fulfillment. And we do that a couple times. And then after 3 times, when we squeeze both fists at the same time, we do what's called collapse that anchor. So we're squeezing the right fist for love and gratitude. We're squeezing the left fist for attachment. And in doing so, they cancel each other out in our nervous system. Our nervous system doesn't know which one to go after, and it ends up canceling the anchor. And it's called collapsing an anchor. So you can get rid of that feeling of attachment just by that simple process. And again, I have a meditation to do that if there's something that you're feeling particularly attached to at this time. And again, another one is the meaning that we make. And this was my episode last week. The meaning that you make around this outcome. If I don't get it, am I going to be worthless? If I don't get it, is my life not going to be on track? If I don't get it, what are people going to think of me? And really, it's changing the meaning. Change the questions you ask yourself. You're going to change the meaning. You're going to change the emotions. And you can either prevent or stop that attachment from happening altogether. And remember that this or something better. So this outcome, or if this doesn't work out, I know that there's something better planned for me that I just can't see yet. And having the emotions of faith and of gratitude will cancel that feeling of attachment. Remember, it's just an emotion. It's just an energetic signal in your body that you can clear out by using your mind in the right way, by choosing the meaning you make, collapsing the anchor. Meditation is another great way to release that, because in meditation, we're letting that energy out of our system. We're aligning our energy. And it's like, if we have an antenna, we're letting all that extra noise out of our system. And that's another great way to release attachment. So I hope I've given you something to think about here, that attachment is keeping everything you want from entering into your life, giving you a few strategies on how to release that and just have, experience emotions of faith and gratitude, and release that attachment. Let the universe bring to you what is meant for you, and your life is going to be so much easier than trying to control everything. Because when we try to control, when things don't work out our way, we're disappointed and we suffer. And so instead, see everything as happening in divine order. And when something doesn't happen the way that you prefer it to happen, you can still find beauty in it, and you can still find joy and fulfillment. And it's not going to rock you emotionally like it would if you were really attached to an outcome. So that's it for today's episode. I hope you guys are having an amazing holiday season, taking care of yourselves emotionally, physically, spiritually, doing the daily routines and asking yourselves the right questions, controlling your focus, that are going to give you the quality of life that you're after. If you haven't yet, get registered for my event in January with one of my friends and mentors, Matt Aitchison. It's Winter Wealth Camp, and that's sponetrained.com/Winter Wealth Camp. We're setting up a system to get you guys totally honed in on your goals for 2020, give you some timeless wealth building strategies, and give you the subconscious programs to go out and make that happen. I'm going to teach my best content on how to influence people, hypnotic influence for relationships and business, how to change your subconscious identity, and really how to attract everything you want into your life. So again, January 9th through 12th in Lake Tahoe, we're going to do some skiing, have some great winter fun and masterminding. If you want more information on Matt Aitchison, I did a podcast episode with him a few weeks ago. So check that out, see what he's all about. He's young and he's brilliant and he's super well connected. So he would be a great resource for any entrepreneurs out there building a real estate empire or just building an influence and an impact in the world. He's doing it very well at a high level. That's why I spend time with him. So come join us in January. If not, I will see you on the next episode of the Spone Train podcast.